Hi, I'm Megan with Monroe County Ag in the Classroom, and I'm here with Nathan Johanning. And Nathan, what's your title with Extension?
I'm a commercial agriculture educator with the University of Illinois Extension based in Waterloo.
Okay, and we're out on Nathan's farm, on his family farm, and we're talking about pumpkin. Okay, so we talked about how you plant pumpkins. How do you process them? How do you harvest pumpkins?
So a harvest is basically all by hand for especially for any of our pumpkins we raise. For processing pumpkins on the larger industry scale where they're harvesting hundreds of acres to go to the cannery to make canned pumpkin, those they do have some mechanization to help kind of pull them into rows and load them up into trailers. But for any pumpkin that you find that's decorative in nature, any of those you're going to see are all harvested by hand. We don't have any good mechanical way to harvest them while still keep them looking nice and not damage them, since a lot of our pumpkins are really grown for just aesthetics, so we want them to look as nice as possible. Basically, we go through the field and take a small pair of pruners, and we will go through and cut stems on pumpkins, and then from there we load them into usually pallet-sized crates, sometimes smaller bushel-sized crates for small gourds and things, and then we will basically move them around with tractors and other equipment from there, sometimes using wagons or other things to harvest into, and then load them into whatever we need to take them to a given market. Depending on what it is and where we need to go with them.
So after you've harvested and after Halloween's over and Thanksgiving's over, what do you do to this field? Do you do fall tillage?
So for this field that you see here, and most of our farm is all no-till, so what you see here, all these pumpkins, as it gets a little colder, anything left will freeze, and basically after that, if you've ever had one freeze on your front porch, they basically will hold their shape, and then as soon as they thaw, they basically kind of melt down to nothing. So we don't do anything with the remaining fruits that are out in the field. Whatever is here, and basically they will break down over the winter months. And then this will actually be a cornfield next year, and we will no-till right through the residue you see here, and there'll be a growing corn crop come through this.
Okay. So one thing I wanted to ask was, why should somebody buy pumpkins from a local source instead of a big box store?
So one thing I always like to keep in mind is that because Illinois is top in pumpkin production, a lot of the pumpkins that you get, no matter where you get them, do probably come from somewhere in Illinois. And if you do go to a box store and need a pumpkin in a pinch, you can certainly look there's a lot of stickers on those, and they'll tell you kind of where they've come from for the most part. So, but why would you support a local farm? Especially here in Monroe County, we have lots of local farms, way more than myself, that are producing pumpkins on various scales. There's lots of roadside stands and places you can go. So whenever you're getting a pumpkin from a local farm, first off, a lot of times that pumpkin is harvested fairly recently. It hasn't been shipped around and other things, so you're getting a fresh product that is, one thing, grown locally with someone that you probably know or know of. And the other part I always like, besides just the quality of the fruit, is remember you're supporting all of your local neighbors and your people in the county. So you're keeping all of your money invested in people here versus investing that in someone that's maybe not local and not going to contribute to our community locally. So.
Okay, that makes sense. You're contributing to your local economy and you're helping out your neighbors. Okay, well, Nathan, thank you for talking to us today. We really appreciate you taking the time to explain pumpkins to us and show us your awesome farm out here in Monroe County.
No problem. Thank you.